Hello friends, I am Naren, your host, and I am back with another video. In this video, we're gonna talk about environment variables, Terraform environment variables. So let's jump on Visual Studio Code to discuss about all information about environment variable in Terraform. So let's move to the Visual Studio Code. In this, I have created a new project with few files, and here we have main.tf, output.tf, provider.tf, readme files, and variable.tf. This project or this script is doing nothing, just creating a VPC using our variables. We define a variable files where you can see all the variables required by VPC, whether it's a CIDR block, VPC name, all we are getting from variable.tf file. In this video, we are going to understand all about the Terraform environment variables. So let's talk about the Terraform environment variable. Environment variables are a way to configure settings and pass sensitive values without hard coding them into .tf file or command line argument. Environment variables are especially used for supplying credentials, overriding Terraform settings, passing input variables securely. Now, being a DevOps engineer, you know supplying credentials is very critical, and you have to supply those credentials in a secure manner so the credentials are not compromised. In Terraforms, we we have types of environment variable in Terraform. So there are few types of environment variable that exist in the Terraform. First one is Terraform specific environment variable. Terraform specific environment variable, as you know, Terraform is a tool that can help you to launch the resources on the cloud provider or any other provider. So Terraform also come with predefined environment variable that can help you to change the behavior of the Terraform CLI, the behavior of how you are using the Terraform in your script. Few of them I listed here, but there are many. So for example, let's say if you want to change the logging mechanism of the Terraform when you are, you know, when you are running a command, Terraform command like Terraform plant, Terraform apply, then it will be display a log in the console. So if you want to changing those log settings, let's say I don't want to display the error, just want to display the info related log, so I can set the environment variable tf underscore log and assign the value info. Similar way, we have so many uh, Terraform specific environment, and you can use them precisely as per your requirement. Second option is provider specific environment. As you know, Terraform using provider plugin. Terraform support many provider. In this video, we're gonna talk about AWS provider, but Terraform support many provider. So each provider come with their provider specific environment. So for example, in the AWS, we have to specify access key, secret access key, and the default region as the provider specific environment. Similar way, we have Azure cloud provider. In that case, we also have to provide four environment variable like ARM client ID, ARM client secret. Provider specific environment variable should not start with the tf underscore var or tf underscore. They can directly use with the as per the provider documentation. Now the third type is the input variable environment variable. This is the important one, that when you are launching any resource, similar way that we are doing here, like I am launching a VPC, and all the variables all the value of my VPC are getting from the variable.tf file. If I want to avoid getting the value from the .tf file, I should specify that value in the environment variable. So for example, we have a default value for the CIDR block, and that is this value. If I want to change this value, I can write an environment variable on the command prompt. For example, let's say cls, and we are in the project. I can write, since I am using a window machine, so window machine, you can use the set command and saying tf underscore var, and then your variable name, the variable you want to set, right? And then assign the value, for example test underscore vpc. So this is my environment variable, and make sure when there is no space in the value, then you should not put the double quote, otherwise double quote treated as the value of the variable, value of your environment variable. So this way we can set, if you are using Linux or Ubuntu, you can set with export command. Export command will help you to set the environment variable in Linux and Mac, but for window you can use the set command. Okay, back to the readme file. Now apart from this, yeah, now let's see how to set environment variable. As I already show you that you can use the command prompt. If you are using Linux and Mac, you can use with the export, and then variable name, whether it's like your input variable, input is specific variable, or Terraform is specific variable. And then if you are using Windows PowerShell, go with this format like $environment colon and then your environment variable. Now, third point is the priority or the precedence of your variables. In Terraform, as we know, Terraform support many way of passing the value of the variables, meaning you can pass different way, or different, you can, using a different mechanism to passing your input specific variables. So Terraform require to set the precedence. I have recorded a brand new, a dedicated video about the precedence variables in Terraform, or the priority variables in Terraform. Here I give a quick overview. You can see if you pass any variable value through the CLI, it will take the highest priority. Either you can pass directly variable name and value, or you can store those variable in the file and then passing the var dash file and the file name. Second priority will be taken tf var underscore your variable name. Third priority is anything specified in tf-var or .auto.tf-var file, it get third priority. And the last one is the default value that you specify in the variables. I strongly recommend you can watch my precedence variable video in the Terraform playlist. Now let's take an example how we can using environment variable in the CI/CD. If you are using GitHub Actions, you can write a YAML file, and in the YAML file we have the environment keyword where you can pass the environment. Now here you can see a new statement here, secret.aws key ID. See, we are working with the credential, and credential are a critical part of any organization. We suppose not to directly paste the value here. You can if you want, but this is not the recommended way. So what we have in the GitHub action, you may find some settings where you can create the secret. It will ask you to give a name and the value, and then value will, after you create the secret variable, the value will never be visible to the any user, even for you as well. So here secret, we are getting the secret value from the secret settings in our GitHub, and then we are fetching, assigning the value. And similar way, we are also giving tf underscore var instance types. This is nothing but your input variables types, right? And then you can write your steps of your script execution. The terraform init command should be run, and then we are running terraform init, and then terraform apply, and then terraform apply dash auto dash approve. Now, if you are using Jenkins, for example, if you are using Jenkins, you can write the pipeline in this way. Jenkins pipeline start with the pipeline block, and then you can put the agent any, or you have a specific agent, you can put that agent. And then we have the environment variable in Jenkins. Retrieve the credential, we can use the credential API. In the Jenkins, we have a way to set up the credential, and you can use the credential API, and then passing the name of the variable, it will be fetch the value of the variable. And then you can provide the stages, and you can check it out your git repository, and then run the init command, and then you can run plan, and then you can run apply. So that's all about the Terraform environment variable. Now let's take a look about our demo session here. We have a variables. Let's say we have a VPC name here, and if you want to change the VPC name, VPC default name, you can assign the value here set name. Since we are passing a default one, then you can create the variable environment variable like name equal to this is a test, or I would say test VPC, and then you can enter this, and then you can run terraform init, terraform plan. For this video, we are not gonna run the terraform init, terraform plan and apply. So similar way, you can set this approach, and then your environment variable will be created, and it will be used, since because Terraform following the precedence of the variables, and it will be taking the high precedence, so it will be used as a value of your input variable. That's all for this video. Hope you like this video, and if you are new to my channel, I strongly request you to like my video, subscribe, and follow my channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day.